Hello, thanks for coming. Today I am testing out the 1702 monitor. And why am I testing this out? Well, because it has been sold and I need to ship it to a far-off land. Well, it's Canada, but it's a long way away. Anyway, I have been agonizing over the box to use and acquired a number of boxes in preparation. See, the monitor itself is 14 inches tall, and, well, including the back, it's hard to tell exactly, and about 16 inches deep. And I do not have an original box with the original phone. So, I will be using an enormous amount of bubble wrap. And perhaps other things to go in the monitor box before I ship it. Firstly, I just want to make sure, like this is the one I had listed, it has its little door, which always seems to go missing. And, you know, it's in mighty fine shape. I will, wipe it off some. It's been sitting around for a bit. It has. But, these are great monitors. Now, the one thing, of course, when testing it, many cables, way back when, the colors on these cables sometimes match what's going on the monitor, sometimes not. In this case, they don't. Well, halfway. White on this cable, I know, is the sound. And even though the internal part of this plug is yellow, I know there's only two things on this cable. So red is yellow, white is white on this setup. So if you are tinkering around with a cable that may not be an original Commodore cable, I've not ever found any damage to be done by plugging into the wrong one, except that you get a loud buzz. So I'm going to turn this on. And indeed, we have power. So here we have Commodore 64. We do. I'm going to apply power. This has now had a chance to warm up. Now, that, unfortunately, on your screen is probably rolling, because they just don't cooperate. But that looks beautiful. Beautiful. So, but what I do also want to do is check. I hear, as I turn it on, I hear a little whine, which is normal. There it is. But I do want to put on the diagnostic test here, which will take a moment before it comes up. There it is. Just to make sure that the sound on the monitor is indeed working. I know it is. I'm sure it is. But, I just want to make sure. So, it will run through. It's just got the dead test going. It does. Colors are looking good. Everything's looking good. And once this runs through, well, no. What's what? You will. Anyway, I have a box picked out, but now I'm struggling of which box to use, because I have another box. I have two boxes. One, I think, is 18 by 18 by 16, the other is 18 by 18 by 24. And, like, when the monitor is pretty much 14 inches tall, And so that doesn't leave tons of packing space in a 16-inch tall box. It just doesn't. In a moment, we will hear the sound. And of course, I want this monitor to arrive there, working. I do. So I am contemplating heavily. Oh, the other thing is the box that is 18 by 18 by 16 is double walled. The box that is 18 by 18 by 24 is just a single wall, but the 24 inches would give me a lot more protection, and I think the way I would probably put it in would be a whole lot of stuff on the bottom, and then put the monitor face down, because then, see that, excuse me, the monitor is, 14 and a half. So it doesn't leave tons of space on the sides, but the 24 inches leaves a whole lot of space on the upper and the lower, and that is where I think most thunks or bangs in shipping might be. There we go. So, this monitor is working. Now I am, of course, I'm turning this off because you don't need to look at that thing going wee, wee, wee. I will, of course, I have used this some, not a whole bunch, but I will, in order to ensure that there isn't any troubles, I will leave it on for some while. Well, basically, I mean, it's been burned into the factory. It's now like, well, probably not quite 40 years old, I could tell you, probably on the back, when it was made. I think, August 1983. So, 38 years old. And, yeah. Anyway, I think the delicate parts, the most delicate, I mean anything can be delicate on these things, but the most delicate things would be the back and the front. So I'm thinking straight down, lots of padding around, and then lots of padding on the top. And shock absorbing material. I have some heavy duty industrial wrap stuff. So, yeah, I suppose, well, I'm here because I can, and I know this works, but I'm going to unplug the cables from the front, because, of course, there are plugs turn on in the back. There are, so I have switched the switch to the rear. I will turn this on. Oh, right, I still have the cartridges in there. Perhaps this needs to go in the other port. Yes. Yep, that is exactly what I suspected that I would see when, with the chroma and the luma split. They are split. Okay, so we're looking good. We're looking and fine. We are. I will be selling, I've got a bunch more monitors to go through. I do prefer to sell them locally, because it does cause me, and perhaps the person who's buying it, some stress knowing that it's going to travel many thousands of kilometers. Now, I would like to think it's not going to be thrown around and abused. And I will mark all over it fragile, which I would like to think, there we go, when things like this are shipped, that fragile actually means, hey, take it easy and not, you know, aim from a higher height and see how it goes. We shall see. Anyway, here is a fantastic monitor, the Commodore 1702. The 1702 and the 1701 essentially look identical, but yet they have different numbers. And then, of course, when it comes to the 1802, there's so many variations. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like. Anyway, I like these the best. Great picture, great everything. You could stack them. I mean, you got to be careful because, of course, they would slide. From what I know, some years ago I went to go on to be on a commercial for a supposed speed dating thing, and I was supposed to be one of the undesirables. Can you imagine? Anyway, there, lined up behind the scenes, they had 3 or 4 of these with the various camera angles, and I said, oh yeah, I know those. And, you know, they've been around now, well, almost 40 years, 38 years, this one. And in a lot of ways, the guy said, you know, they've really become an industry standard. It's like people use them for all kinds of things. Because the picture, it's fantastic. Now, on this, it's just, you know, it's blue, it's white, it's red, it's whatever. But when it comes to actual, like, using it for TV, using it for other stuff, it's really magnificent. Actually, a teacher that I work with, he told me he uses a monitor like this as his television. And he has some spares. I have to talk to him about that. Anyway, turn that off, and turn that off, and I will set about doing, or as my grandmother, you may have heard this recently, I'll give this a little bit of a face wash and let it burn in some, and then begin the process of more and more, I think, using the 18 by 18 by 24 inch box. Even though it's only single wall, I really think I will feel better having a lot more space and cushioning ability on the bottom and the top, I think. So, thanks for coming. Someday, in the not too distant future, I hope to have word back from the person who bought this, that it is glorious and happy, and they are having a wonderful time with it. And it arrived, of course, perfectly wonderful, perfectly safe, perfectly glorious. Anyway, that does it for today. That's about all I have to say about that. Oh, hang on, one thing. I did get a note from someone who said they... Oh, dear. Hang on. I must be careful. You see, to be careful, or to be sure, excuse me. That was close. Somebody said they really like this hat and they think I should wear it more. Well, with my hair at this length at the moment, it really doesn't fit all that well. And I think I might throw a shadow. And the reason I had to jump up there because I went, oh, because I did take apart an original Commodore 64 power supply. And, oh, there's the top. And it was kind of dirty and such. I thought, well, I could just, wipe it off. But as it's just plastic, I put it in with my dishes, washed it, and let it dry for a couple of days. Anyway, somebody did write recently they very much like this hat, and so do I. When my hair is shorter, it fits better. And, but anyway, there, I have worn it. I will set it here for the moment. There we go. So, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming. Stay tuned. Many, 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 many more videos to come soon. And yes, I will be selling things. So, feel free to write to me. Until we meet again,